All right, we're going to talk about LeBron throwing shade. That's LeBron being the greatest player of all time. But first, let's talk about it. Giannis has been suspended by the National Basketball Association. Make sure you check out our NBA Talk playlist for more videos like this. Appreciate the love and support. Now, Giannis head-butted Mo Wagner for the Washington Wizards. He used to go to University of Michigan, know him really well. Now, you know, he could have head-butted better people, all right, as far as caliber of player. But as far as his integrity, Mo Wagner's a racist, all right? That's why LeBron had his ass moved from the Lakers. Some of those anti-black tweets he had and pro-Trump tweets he had, I believe. So, like I said, it's one of the guys that deserve to be headbutt, all right? He one of them closet racists. If you see him kneeling with a Black Lives Matter shirt on, that ain't what he represent. Now, Giannis ended up headbutting him last night. I seen it on the replay. I didn't even think he was playing because they said he had oral surgery. And I know the Bucks probably should have had the number 1 seed wrapped up by now. But here's Adrian Wojnarowski co-signing it. The NBA suspended Milwaukee star Giannis Antetokounmpo for the Bucks' final seeding game on Thursday for a head bump on Mo Wagner. Sources tell ESPN. Now, should he be suspended? No. You know, the NBA has just become soft. I've seen people throw blows. I've seen people get elbowed in the stomach. I've seen people damn near get stone cold stunned. But at the end of the day, it's a different day. It's a different time. Kind of like the Looney Tunes video we did a few weeks ago or a couple months ago when HBO Max said they was going to take away Elmer Fudd's gun and replace it with a knife or whatever. And times have changed. Gun safety and gun control is pretty much at the top of everybody's priority list right now. And times have changed, right? So, I'm not mad at him suspending Giannis. The game probably don't mean much for Milwaukee. He lost his cool. Now, y'all got Kendrick Perkins came out and said, oh, if this LeBron did this, everybody would be, oh my God, you know, this is the worst thing. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Life isn't fair. Somebody need to tell Kendrick Perkins to take LeBron's sausage meat out his mouth. Life ain't fair. Some people can get away with some things that other people can't. That's life. And I think we all learned that at least that lesson started to be learned and kind of embedded in your head as a teenager. All right. And if you ain't learned that life ain't fair and you in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, then, I mean, I just guess you ain't going to never learn it, especially if you get in them 40s and 50s and 60s. But it ain't fair. At the end of the day, I seen worse in the NBA. I seen Shaq swing on, who was that, Brad Miller. You know what I'm saying? I seen Shaq throw way more vicious elbows than that throughout his career. You know what I'm saying? I seen Jordan choke Reggie Miller on the floor. I mean, people forget that one. So he did I wouldn't even say a head bump. It was a head bump, but it was considered a head butt. But at the same time, for Giannis, he can't lose his cool. Milwaukee need him, and they could have easily suspended him for 2 or 3 games. Don't forget the NBA will do anything to make sure LeBron win. Remember, they suspended Draymond, and people leave that key out of that final series. The whole narrative is LeBron came back from 3-1, but they ain't telling them guys about the momentum swing they did and suspended Draymond in the finals. They leave that out, and also people leave out Harrison Barnes shot like a bitch. I don't think he deserved to be in the league after that, but he got some nice contracts, you know what I'm saying, after that. But at the same time, you know, Giannis, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. But they was probably going to arrest Giannis anyway, okay? Me personally, who cares? I wouldn't have suspended him. I'm more of an old school ball guy. I seen Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley. I seen a lot worse. Bill Laimbeer, Rick Mahorn, Larry Bird. I seen a lot worse, man. But times have changed. You know, there's no more rivalries. There's no more hatred. There's no more bad blood in the league. Everybody love each other like it's Barney. You know, that's one of the things that I don't like about sports no more. There's no more competitive rivalries. There's no more of those nasty, dirty rivalries, and you can blame AAU, you can blame all these QB camps and, you know, these 7-on-7 camps and stuff of that nature in football. But at the end of the day, today's time and the precedent they trying to set in the NBA, he deserved to be suspended, but it don't even matter. I don't obviously think the Bucks is going to be able to go to the finals. I just think they missing something. I thought they should thought about getting Chris Paul or somebody else to add to that team, but I don't think they make it to the finals. If they do, power to them, but Giannis jump shot holding them back, and they just missing something else. If they could have got DJ Wilson or Devin Chinko to step up, I think that would definitely help them. But I just never really liked their squad. Never really liked what Philly had going on. I really think it's up to Toronto. I think it's Toronto's to lose. In Boston, I just think they so soft in the interior, but I think Tatum and the way Brown and them guys playing, I think they can uplift them. I think it's between Boston and Toronto, in my opinion. If the Pacers was fully healthy, I would take a flyer on them, but it is what it is from that standpoint. But I think the suspension was warranted. Even if they would have suspended them for the first round of playoffs, who they playing, Brooklyn or Orlando? Milwaukee should be able to beat them. Middleton and Bledsoe play well when Giannis not out in those type of games. So at the end of the day, it was a video that came up, and I put the link in the description from Twitter. All right, I didn't want to take nobody's video and they take it down, and I did all this work for this video, so I put that link in the description on the source link. So Kevin Durant is sitting in the store shopping, and one of the guys tell him that who you think the greatest basketball player of all time is in the NBA. He asked it. He was like, this dude think it's LeBron, and Kevin Durant said that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And also he talked about, they asked him about who the best scorer. Somebody said James Harden. He kind of balked at that as well too. And one of the guys was hyping him up, saying that if he healthy, he the best scorer in the game. And to be honest, I agree. All right, ain't nobody 3-6 the best player. Shit, 3-6, you don't even get invited back to the next Madden party. You don't get invited back to the next 2K tournament. But everybody seemed to forget that he 3-6. If that's the case, then Wilt Chamberlain should be the GOAT. He like 1-8 or some shit like that. All right, but that's true. He's not the greatest basketball player of all time, but it's subjective, and you respect people's opinion. People grew up watching LeBron. I grew up watching Jordan. All right, that's different. They don't know what it feel like. You can go back and relive The Last Dance, but you don't know what it feel like to be in the moment. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like Jordan. I'm from Detroit. You know, when you grew up, understanding what the Bad Boys and all that was, nobody like Jordan. Not no real Piston fan. We respect the gear. We respect the brand. We respect the name. You don't like no punk ass Jordan for real, but I respect his game. My favorite players of all time is Allen Iverson, but I'm not going to get into that. But LeBron is a phenomenal talent. Depending on who you ask, some people got him in their top 5. Some people got him number 1. Some people got him barely inside their top 10, like Kenny the Jet Smith and Charles Barkley. You know, and everybody get mad at them saying they crazy, but that's their prerogative, right? They've been around and seen a lot better ball players than us. They remember how influential Dr. J was. They remember how good Isaiah Thomas was, how good Bird was. A lot of people look back and don't understand that, but Kevin Durant, right, he's not the greatest player of all time. You know what I'm saying? 3-6 is just ludicrous. And all the shortcomings, losing to Dwight Howard and all that shit, people forget that. He ain't never done what Jordan accomplished. He ain't half the defender Jordan was. All right? But then again, people got their opinion. The most underrated stat in sports have now become wins and losses. Minus and plus and these deep analytics and all this other shit on the floor has become more important than wins and losses. When you get to talk about wins and losses, they say, oh, it wasn't LeBron's fault. LeBron had to. Nah. You know, at the end of the day, it trickles down to the way it trickles down. He 3-6. Phenomenal player. He's definitely inside my top 3 or 5 greatest players that I've seen. I've done a lot of film work. I'm a huge Pete Maravich fan. I'm a huge, Wilt Chamberlain fan. I think Wilt Chamberlain's the greatest athlete in sports history. Go check up the numbers and check out, all the stories about him. You'll think this dude was a superhero. But, he up there for me. You know what I'm saying? But, him talking about James Harden, people pushing James Harden as the greatest scorer right now in the league, like Richard Perkins. At the end of the day, to be the greatest, you got to do it at the highest level when the chip's on the floor. And James Harden has never done that. In the finals with Oklahoma City, he pulled the friends. How many of us have them friends? He pulled a Houdini and got the fuck missing. Every time the chip's on the table for James Harden to take over, he go missing, right? He go missing like on the back of a milk carton. You can't be the greatest scorer when you go missing at the most important times in the playoffs. So when people saying he the greatest scorer and get caught up what he do in the regular season, that's cool. Peyton wasn't immortalized or co-signed until Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl. And for James Harden to break through and get an NBA championship, he won't be solidified. He cannot be the greatest scorer if he ain't did it on the highest level. LeBron above him, KD above him. I don't care what all the phenomenal numbers he put up in the regular season. He can't be the greatest scorer right now if he can't do it when it matters the most. And that's what people need to understand. Wins and losses, make wins and losses a credible stat again. The most important stat almost. But don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check out our NBA Talk playlist for more videos like this. Don't forget, you can always follow me, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can DM me as well. We got a Facebook group. All those links in the description. Want to make a donation? Cash App CJ Good 313. That's in the description as far as PayPal link as well too. Let me know what you guys think about Giannis being suspended and KD throwing shade on LeBron and James Harden. One time for the one time. We gone.